Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day here at Cheyenne Frontier Days. We're going to be getting started with a wild horse demo here in just a few minutes, about 10, 15 minutes or so. We're going to have Katie and Dayton bringing out a few horses. Just a couple of quick announcements. Of course, all these horses are available for adoption. If you're interested in adopting one of these wonderful animals, please visit my friends over here in this yellow tent. They'll get you an application filled out, tell you what you need to adopt one of these wild horses. I'd also like to thank the city of Cheyenne. They are hosting us here at Lions Park this year, so a big thank you to them. Over here, my friends over at HR, that's Marquessa Brown and Melissa Love. Hi. So maybe you can't adopt a wild horse, but you might be interested in working with wild horses. Those folks over there can help you out. And if you have any questions, please let us know, and we'll be happy to answer them. Once again, we'll be getting started here in about 10 minutes. Thanks. All right, folks, we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. For those of you back there around the pen, if you'd like to join us underneath the pines over here by 8th Avenue, we'll be having a...
So if you look at their little tags on their stalls, you can kind of see where they're from, and then you can come over and compare it on the map here and see if you get an idea of the different locations. The mare we're bringing out today, she's 3, and she is just still a green started colt. So we're going to do some stuff with her today to kind of get her brain working and focus on something different. We're going to have her trot on some poles, and we're going to kind of build those up. And this is not an exercise to try to make our next Grand Prix jumper. This is just an exercise for a young horse to figure out where their feet are, to build up some confidence, and also for Dayton, this is kind of new for him too. So he's going to help us out. He's learning. Dayton's only 17, if you can believe it, and he's been with us for 2 years now. So he's doing an awesome job, and I like having him here because now I get to sit on the fence and tell him what to do. So bonus. So we're going to work on that today for you guys, and if you have any questions during any of this, just let us know. Flag us down, or you can yell at the BLM to flag us down in case we're not paying attention. And what he's going to do right now is just warm her up, and I want him to bring her in here and kind of pet on her a little bit. I don't want him to bring her in here and be like, I'm going to start chasing you, you're going right to work, you're going to start trotting, loping right away. No, I want him to bring her out here and pet on her and say, hey look, we're friends, we're hanging out. Because when these horses are together, the one that's the boss pushes the other one around, yes, but we want to be the boss. But the boss horse, out of the 2 or 3 or whatever together, doesn't do it all the time. Doesn't do it for no reason. They hang out, they're friends, they eat together. And then when they decide, hey, I need you to know that I'm the boss of you, they do something to let that be known. So it's kind of the same thing here. We're going to come out, we're going to be friends, and then I'm going to simply ask you to do something. So he's going to pet her, and then he's going to start petting her with the flag, touching her with the flag. And if she reacts to that, we'll build off that. So here, this is pretty nice already. She's not too worried about that flag. She doesn't care. She's not looking at it sideways. She's had this done. And again, these horses have had a lot of this stuff done. This one has. Our next one we're going to bring out after her has not done any of the poles on the ground, so that'll be new for him. But for this one, she's done it a little bit. Earlier today was her first time. But the flag she's had done, that's something pretty standard we do with our young horses. And if she were to react and look at it sideways, then that would give us a whole new thing to work on. So even that right there, that's something new to work on. So now he's going to go back to where she kind of twisted the flag and make sure you can get all the way down her leg. Perfect. Good. He's going to cut her for that. He's going to reward her. So with these young horses especially, it's very important to reward the good behavior. They're kind of like toddlers, I've noticed. You reward the good behavior. So once he can get her petted all over and know that, okay, we're friends, we're hanging out, then he can start putting her to work. And he's going to just ask her to walk in a circle. So his first step right there is he pointed with his arm. That's your first cue of I want you to go this way. If she doesn't respond when he points, that's where he can bring on the second cue of I'm going to put the flag behind you. If she doesn't move on those 2 cues, then he can start to shake the flag. So all these little steps count. And a walk is perfect here right now. And that's okay. She trotted on her own. He didn't ask her to, and that's fine. A lot of times if horses are nervous, especially these young horses, they want their feet to move. They feel better if their feet are moving. So our goal is if they're nervous and they want their feet to move, we just get to decide what direction they're going. You know, we can decide the direction, we can decide the speed. And if Dayton wants her to slow down, he's just going to tip her nose in a little bit towards him. Boom, right there. He got her back to a walk. If he wants her to stop, he'll tip her nose in again towards him. There we go, perfect. Good, he's going to go pet her for that. So what this is when he drives her around and he lifts up on that rope on the inside and tips her nose in towards him, when her nose comes in, her hind end goes out, it goes away, it comes underneath itself. And what that is going to translate to later on when we start riding them is your one rein stop. So if you're on a horse and you're riding and you pick up on your inside rein, their hind end comes around, they slow down. Even if they do a tiny circle, they're still slow. It's really hard for a horse to run really, really fast in a little tiny circle. So that is our one rein stop, is what we're developing here on the ground. And then Dayton's going to slowly start working over, and he's going to see if he can get her to go over the poles, even at a walk, if he can get her to walk. Good, he's rewarding her again for doing what he asked. Good girl. And right there, she didn't hit any of the poles. She didn't plunk through them. She didn't clobber them. She picked up her feet. She put them where she needed to. And these, for a young horse like this, well, any horse, even if they're older horses, you try to space them out properly. I've gone to small shows where they just threw 2 jumps out there. They didn't measure them or count them or anything. A horse, when it moves, has a certain size of stride. A horse this size is obviously going to have a smaller stride than a 17-hand thoroughbred. So these poles I spaced out, I did 4 steps in between, and steps I did heel to toe. So for her size, that's perfect. A bigger horse, she might do 5 steps in there. And you can judge that. If you trot a horse through and it clunks every single pole, you can't always blame that on the horse not picking up its feet. You might have your poles in the wrong spot. Or if you have, 2 poles really close together and 2 really far apart, they're not gonna figure that out as well. So it's, later on, yeah, they might when they figure out their feet a little better. But here in the beginning, we want to help them out and put them spaced evenly. And Dayton will lunge her back around the other way. And then what we're going to do here is we're just going to slowly build it up. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. We're going to turn it into a small jump. We're going to lunge her over a jump. And then we're going to translate that to Dayton's going to ride her, and we're going to do the same thing. So it's all, all the steps are to make your ride and your work smooth and easy. Right? We don't want a big fight out here. Good girl. He's going to bring her in and reward her for that. And I'm going to go put it up a little bit. And so now that I made my jump a little bit bigger, I'm going to just move my poles out a little bit for her, just to give her enough space to fit in there. So even if you have a horse that you're developing, it's young, it's green, even an older horse that you want to take it on trail rides, this is beneficial because it teaches them where their feet are and what they're doing. So if you're on a trail ride, why would you not want that? If you're trying to run barrels, if you're trying to rope, why would you not want your horse to know where its feet are and what it's doing with them? So this helps for all that. And it also really helps young horses develop confidence. She, like I said, we did do this with her earlier, and she's doing way better now than she did earlier. And that's why I'm going to show you guys when she's done, we're going to bring out a horse that hasn't done it. So you guys can kind of see the difference. So Dayton's going to do the same thing here. And he's not pulling on her face here. He's letting that rope be loose. Good girl. Good. He's going to bring her in, pet her, and then he's going to send her the other direction. He's not chasing her through here. They have a nice rhythm. And what I mean by rhythm is she's not trotting off her feet. She has time to, good girl. She has time to go in there and think about what her feet are doing, where they're going. Now earlier today when we did this, she plunked them with her back end. You know, she'd figure out the front end and then the back end wouldn't figure it out, and then she finally kind of put it together. And so this, she had time to sit and think about this, and now she's doing it much better than she did earlier. So nice loose rope here. Dayton's job is just to keep her to where she goes down the middle as best as possible. Good girl. Good. And again, we're just going to build it up a little bit more. See if we can get her to actually maybe try to jump over them versus just kind of trot over them. So again, because I'm putting my jump up, I'm going to move my ground poles out a little bit. For a smaller horse, like her, I'm going to put them about 6 feet. For a bigger horse, I would do like 8 to 9 feet. So now, because it's a little bit bigger, Dayton's gonna, same thing, he's gonna have a nice loose rope, he's gonna try to send her down the middle as best he can. When she gets that first pull on the ground, he's gonna kind of cluck at her and try to encourage her to lift up her feet. Good girl, nice pace. Yeah! Good girl! And that was way better than this morning. This morning I was like, I'm not sure she's gonna figure it out. But that time she did well. And that's the thing, horses can jump. Any horse can jump. Can they do it well, is the question. And what we look for of doing well is that their knees come up, they're like almost even, they're not back here. So she did that great. We'll do the other direction, and then we'll just, we'll get her saddled, and we're going to do the same thing when she's saddled. I'm going to drop everything back down, we're going to start over, we'll build it back up. And we'll see if we can get her to do this with the rider, which she has not ever done that far. Good girl. Good girl. She says, I think I like this job. And this is a horse that is, she's a nervous horse. She's a mover, she's a shaker, she wants a job, she wants something to do. So that's why we kind of picked her for this earlier today, is that she has the forward. Your lazier horses, it's really good for them too, but you have to work a lot more to get them to do what she's doing pretty easily. So let's get her saddled and do the same thing there. So while he's doing that, I'm going to just put this back down. So like I said, we're going to start over back on the ground because it's all new now that she's going to have a rider on. So she's done it, she figured it out this way without a rider, and now with her rider it's going to be a whole different feel for her. And for Dayton too, I don't think he's done that. So I bet if you guys look really close, you'll see how terrified Dayton is. But again, I'm going to do my four steps here. So here you can see it, she stands nice to be saddled. Dayton gets to move back and forth both sides. She's not worried now. She's had a nice warm up out here. She's got to see you guys a little bit. She's got to see the round pen a little bit. And something else I like to point out with these guys is we can't recreate this at home. We don't have an audience at home. We don't have tents. We don't have tarps behind us or trailers all over. We just simply have a round pen in our barn. So this is really good exposure for these young horses. It helps them a ton to get them down here. They see a bunch of things, hear a bunch of things. We have planes going over all the time. We don't have that at home either. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Perfect. And usually for setups like this, it's easier if you can do them, you know, on a straightaway in an arena. We don't have that here. We just have a round pin to work in. So we're making do. The good thing about doing a drill like this in a round pin is it kind of naturally sets you up to have that nice inside bend that we want for horses. So for a 3-year-old horse, she's got a pretty darn good start. Like I said, she was pretty nervous in the beginning, and I feel like she's settling in pretty nice now.
That's why I have these teachable moments when I show you.
And even though she had a nice warm up with the flag and going over the poles, Dayton's still going to do a little bit to get her ready for him to get on her. Just because she is young, she's green, new environment, it's always better to give them the benefit of the doubt. The more warm-up time, the better for young horses. You know, it'd be different if we had a giant pasture where we're going to go gather cows all day, but we don't. We just have a round pen to work in and limited time. So we like to, like I said, give them the benefit of the doubt. So since he's the one riding her, I'm going to let him do what he feels comfortable getting her ready. And he might just pop right on. So he tightened his cinch once, he walked her around a little bit, petted on her, and now he's going to tighten it again. That's better to do with younger horses, actually with any horse. I do that with my older horses too. They don't like it when you just tighten your cinch up as tight as you possibly can right in the beginning. And I don't blame them. So little bits at a time is the best way to tighten up your cinch when you're getting ready to ride. And when he gets up there, he's just going to pet her. So here, he's doing his one rein stop again. All right, she stopped there. He'll pet her for that. So if she wants to walk off, he's just going to turn her in a little circle. Just like when he had her on the ground, if she wants to leave and walk off, he would just pick up on that lead rope when he was on the ground. Same thing right here. If she wants to walk off, he's just going to pick up on his inside rein. And your inside rein is the one towards the middle of the round pin. I like to explain that to people because sometimes it's confusing. Because your inside rein can change depending on where you are and what you're doing. So again, now he has a new inside rein. He's going to turn her. Her hind end's coming underneath her. He's going to keep her there, and when she stops, he'll reward her, he'll let go, and he'll pet her. Good, right there, right there. And that's where timing is everything. It's that split second of she hesitated to take a step, boom, let go, pet her. And they figure it out. They're very smart, they're very sensitive. You know, these animals can feel when a fly lands on their back. They know what you're doing up there. They're well aware of what you're doing. So what we're going to do first is he's just going to walk her over the poles. Simply just go right back to the beginning. We're going to walk. He's going to shoot for the middle. Good. He's going to pat her when she's done. Good girl. He'll come in and he'll turn towards me, change direction. You know, and this right here is a horse that had been very nervous down here. She didn't want us to catch her. She didn't know what was going on. This was a lot for her to take in. When other horses were being worked in the round pen and running around, she would pace the fence of her pen because she was very scared of what was going on. Now, to me, she looks pretty relaxed. She's doing pretty darn good. Good girl. So what he's going to do when he goes to trot the poles is he's going to do a nice, big, long approach. He's not going to turn her in a tight turn and point her at it. He's going to give her plenty of time to get nice and straight, see where she's going, see what she's doing. Good. He's going to pet her. She didn't plunk any of the poles. She picked her feet up. She paid attention. Good girl. And there's her reward. I did what I was supposed to. And this horse already, which many of them do, is that they start to hunt those poles. They say, oh, here's my job, here's what I do. We're going to get a nice little cool off, it looks like. And coming this way over the poles, like towards you guys from there, is her tougher direction. Horses are like people in the sense that they're left, you know, we're left or right-handed. They're the same. They always have a direction they like better than the other. Good girl. Good. Now, if we can get him to turn and do it that smooth the other direction, we'll start to build him back up. That's all right. He's going to come right back because she cheated us on the last one there. So here he's going to keep his right leg on her a little bit more. Yes. There you go. Good. And I, again, am just moving these out. Since I'm changing it around, I gotta make sure she has room. So I'm just gonna move my ground poles out a little bit. And so for Dayton to do this the first time, I want you to come this way because that's her better direction. And then you have a nice long approach. So stay out on the rail as long as you can. And Dayton's job right now is to essentially stay out of her way. He's going to keep her straight. He's going to pluck at her when she gets to the first pole on the ground. And that's to encourage her to pick up her feet. Good. Now you're going to pick up her trot. And you're going to come right back. Same thing. You're going to pluck at her at the poles on the ground. You're going to pull your shoulders back. Yeah, good girl. Let her walk a second. Alright, this is awesome. Alright, we're going to do one more thing real quick. I want you to come around, and your job is to pluck at the pole and think of getting her to land in a lope. Right? I don't care if she does, but you think it. Like, think if you're going to land and go somewhere. So if you start thinking that at the first pole, that's going to encourage her to lift herself up like she's got to go somewhere. So right here, right? Like you're going to lope away. Yeah, better. Come right back. Keep starting. Keep your hands low. Good girl. There you go. Now she's thinking. Let her walk in real quick. Better. Let's do it one more time the way you just went, and then we'll be able to go through. So same thing, ride like you're going to land and go somewhere. Yeah, good. Pet her. Pet her, pet her, pet her. Good girl. Let her walk. So that time she kind of did a one-step bounce, picked herself up a little. Was it the best? No, but for her it was progress. And this is her first time doing this with anyone on her back. So we'll take it. And then we're going to do the same thing the other direction, which is her tougher direction. So this is where Dayton's going to use his right leg, his inside leg more to keep her from drifting in. Good girl. Same thing, land like you're going to go somewhere. That's alright, good. Yeah, but I lost it again. And did I mention this is Dayton's first time doing this? Not just the horses, so good job, Dayton. Alright, same thing. Yep, keep your hands low, squeeze. Good girl. Oh, yeah, very nice. So that time she didn't, her legs weren't, they were even. She came up even, she's thinking about it, she's putting her feet where she needs to. Good girl. Let's go the other way. And then if you get her to land in the lope, just keep going. Okay? So that's your thought. Think if I'm going to land and go somewhere. One more time, go again. Squeeze. Yep. Oh, you're done with her. Pet her. Very nice. See how that was like a bounce through there? Like step over the pole, bounce. I don't know if you guys caught that, but to me that's awesome. That's perfect. She's done. If this were my, if my green horse at home that I start and get ready to go to shows and jump, I'd be done. This is his first time with a rider on him. So nice job, Dayton. So we're going to unsaddle her, and then we're going to bring out another little horse and start the groundwork process of this, just trotting over the poles and stuff, and then build the jump up with him who has never done it. So give us just a minute here to start over.
All right, folks, how about a nice round of applause for Dayton? That was the rider. Peyton was the horse. Once again, folks, nice high five. Good job, Katie. Katie did great, too, in the ring.